Hello and welcome back to another Coaster Crazy video here on YouTube. Yes, this is another top 10. You've probably seen by the title, it's top 10 wooden coasters. Right, before I start this video, I just want to say that this list will not include hybrid coasters. I've already had a few messages already saying why is this not on there and why is that not on the list. It's basically just full wooden coasters, so not hybrids, not RMCs. So there's a couple in that I would have put in the list, or when I was writing I thought, well, hang on a minute, that's a hybrid. So White Lightning at Fun Spot Orlando, that's not in the list. Mind Blower's not in the list, and Wood Express at Park St Paul is not in the list as well, although I loved all three of those coasters, the hybrids. So it's basically a wooden track, but it's got a metal support. So this list that I've got, it's all fully wooden coasters, which would make sense really, wouldn't it? So, you know, I could probably do a top 10 hybrid coasters including RMCs, but I think in total I've only been on about 6 or 7, so I couldn't do that. So yeah, this list does not include RMCs or hybrid coasters, although some on the roller coaster database would say it's classed as a wooden coaster. It's not as well, is it? It's, you know, it's a hybrid, it's a mixture of the two. So yeah, top 10 wooden coasters. Again, I hope everyone's doing alright. We're still in lockdown. We're not too sure when we're coming out, but I actually went back to work like last Monday, or whenever this is being uploaded. It was the Monday just gone, which is going okay. I'm wearing face masks and stuff like that. Everyone's keeping 2 meters apart on the building site where I work, so everything's going okay. Glad to be back at work. A couple of little shout outs before I start. I know I said I don't really do them, but I thought I might as well give a couple every time I do this sort of video. One of them is a good friend of mine. She doesn't really like to be known who she is, which is quite good in a way, I think. You know, keep yourself hidden. But the videos they do are really good. It's obviously like fun fairs and things like that, and some really nice on-ride footage and some like montage sort of videos, really, with a bit of nice music added to it, some bit of, you know, ride footage and stuff. But yeah, the channel is Diary of a Roller Coaster Girl, so go over and subscribe if you haven't already. The link in the thing is down at the bottom and in the description of the video as well. And the other one is as well, I was actually looking on YouTube last night and a video popped up called Brandon Gaming. It's actually my nephew. I've seen some of his stuff. He's alright what he does. He does obviously like the Fortnite sort of videos and that sort of thing, but he posted a video last night saying that it was ending his channel. He doesn't go very far with it, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a shout out. Now, it was actually called Brandon Gaming, so I looked on YouTube to sort of see what the problem is, because sometimes when you got a YouTube channel, having a unique name or something like that always stands out, will help you. So with that one, I actually searched for his channel, which was, like I said, Brandon Gaming, and I'm not joking, there's about 1,000 of them. Yeah, so I messaged him and said, look, you know, you're probably best changing your channel name to make you stand out a little bit more. So he has done. He messaged me this morning and said he changed it, and he's actually called now I think it's Ghouls, which is well, it's down in the thing here anyway. So go and give him a subscribe if you're into your gaming sort of videos, you know, young people, that sort of thing, like that sort of thing. Some of his thumbnails and things he does are very good. I just thought I'd give him a little mention. I never really mentioned it before, but yeah, at the moment he's got 82 subscribers, so yeah, go and check him out. It's called Zools, like I said. It's in the bottom of the thing. Right, so here we go. Top 10 wooden coasters. Right, I've got a list. Again, it's on my phone because I'll forget otherwise. This was actually really hard to write down, if I'm honest. And then I ended up going back and changing it. Then I ended up screenshotting the list and sending it to a couple of people and going, like I said, somebody said, why is Wood Express not in it? Like I said, I wanted to keep it as all wooden coasters, so like I said, Wood Express is a hybrid. So I've got the list just here, and I've also wrote down some notes as well. So let's get into it. Like I say, notable mentions will be at the end, so there's 4 of those at the end of the video. So here we go. So number 10 is Wickhamon. Now, a lot of people would go, that should be higher up, but again, like I said in the other top 10 videos, I go off experience and the actual feel of the coaster, and obviously the experience and theming and just the general feel of the actual coaster, of what I experienced on that particular day. So when we actually went to go and ride Wickhamon for the first time, it was the second weekend of opening in 2018. It's built by GCI, or Great Coasters International, so obviously some of these coasters will be a bit of a trend and a bit of a pattern with it. It's got music by Score as well, which is really good. But first thing you notice about this coaster is the theming is incredible. Really good theming. It's got that massive structure at the well, in the middle, called Big Bob, but it's the Wickhamon. So on one side it's got a human face, the other side it's got a ram. It looks amazing. The coaster goes through it a couple of times. It's got smoke and fire effects, and it looks awesome. I think the big standout thing for Wickhamon, for me personally, is the theming. I must admit, it probably is the best themed wooden coaster on this list, but the reason why it's number 10 and not number 1 is the experience. The first time we went, like I said, it was the second weekend of opening in 2018, and we was in the queue for around 3 hours, and it broke down when we got to the end. We then queued up again for another hour, and we finally got onto it. So in total of actually getting on this ride, I think I've only ever had 3 rides on it, which it's okay. It's a good family wooden coaster, but it's not amazing. It's not a wow factor for me. So the reason why it's at number 10, I think. So yeah, number 10 on the list is Wickhamon at Alton Towers, which I forgot to say at the beginning. So number 9 on the list is Cua Lane at Taito Park in Ireland. Now this is a 2015 Gravity Group coaster, and this thing's massive. I heard so many things about this coaster. People saying it's the best in Europe, and yeah, it's a massive coaster. I wanted to go. It's a bucket list coaster actually for me, to go over to Ireland, in fact, because I'd never been to Ireland. Well, with a few friends last year of 2019, and first thing is amazing. First impression is amazing. Decent theming on it. It's not amazing. It's just basically plunked in a field with a bit of theming around the front, but it's a huge coaster. Again, like I said, it's built by the Gravity Group. So it's got the Timberliner trains on it, which have got the sort of goes over your chest. I'm not a massive fan of the Timberliner trains, if I'm honest. I prefer the Millennium Flyers that you got on the GCIs. But yeah, it's got a 65 degree banked turn on it, which some people were saying it's classed as an inversion. It's not an inversion, but it's quite far over. It's really good. It's got really good banked corner on it. It's themed to the Irish mythology of the Cuchulainn, and it was a good coaster. Like I said, I'm really impressed by the size and the scale of it. It's pretty fast, and it's quite long as well, but there were certain parts of it, I think we got on it a bit too early during the day. It felt a bit slow in places, if I'm honest. It didn't keep that speed building up. It just seemed to slow down a bit throughout the course. And the second time we rode it, it was raining. It was really bad, but we didn't wait long for it, so it wasn't a massive deal to get on it, and it was all right for what it is. It's a good coaster. It's not the best in Europe by a long way, but it's probably the best in Ireland. In fact, it's the only wooden coaster in Ireland. So yeah, number 9 on the list is the Cua Lane at Taito Park. So number 8 on the list is another one which a lot of people would say should have been higher, or it's probably their number 1 wooden coaster. But for me, I've only been on it a couple of times. We went to this park a few years ago. Loved the park. The park's in my top 10. So it's Walden at Europa Park in Germany. Now Walden again is another GCI coaster. It's got the fantastic Millennium Fly trains on it. The reason why it's so low in the list is just the ride. It's so big, and you look at it, it's just a massive coaster, but it's just so short. It's over so fast. So you're on it and you've got loads of airtime on it. It's got some good bank curves and turns on it. It's fast, and then you straight into the brake run, and you're like, oh, is that it? It just seems to be so quick, and it's over so fast. The theming on it's amazing. The queue line's great on it. But if it's a quiet day, you bypass the really nice bit in the queue line. It's also got a toilet in the queue line as well, which is good for busy days. But yeah, anyway, so the Walden Timber Coaster, as it's actually called, 2012 GCI. It's got a speed of about 62 mile an hour. I wish it would have been higher in the list, but when we went, I just wasn't overly impressed with it. I think the other coasters on the list are slightly better. We didn't wait long for it, so again it wasn't a massive queue, which wasn't a big deal. I just think for such a big coaster, the layout could have been a lot better and a bit longer than what it is. So number 8 on the list is Walden Timber Coaster at Europa Park in Germany. So number 7 on the list is a really good coaster actually, and like I said at the beginning of the video, the reason why I'm not putting hybrids in this list is because obviously then I wanted to keep it all all wooden coasters with no metal involved. I mean, some supports and stuff are okay, but yeah. Number 7 on the list is it's got a clone, if you will, which was built first, which is White Lightning at Fun Spot in Orlando, which was actually one of my favourite wooden coasters, or technically a hybrid coaster, or what they're known as. But this one is a fully wooden coaster, and it's Heidi the ride at Plopsaland de Pan in Belgium. Now, I love this coaster. I knew I was going to like it because I really enjoyed White Lightning. It's similar sort of, in fact, it's pretty much identical. It's built by GCI. It's just a small scale family coaster. It's got the smaller Millennium Fly trains on it, and I love it. It's fantastic. It's got its own little themed area to it, which is some sort of, I don't know, like a little German village type thing going on. It's based on a Studio 100 character of Heidi, which if you're Belgian or wherever that area is of the world, then you probably know about this character. Obviously, being in England, we don't really know about this one. But it's really good. 2017 GCI. Like I said, it's got its own themed area. The layout is brilliant. So you go up it's not very tall either, so it's basically an out and back coaster. Obviously, you can see on the POV, it's really fast. It's relentless. Once you've gone down that first drop, it's got some really nice bank turns, loads of airtime on it, and then you got to the end, another bank turn, straight back to the station. I think it's brilliant. It's really good. It's a smooth coaster as well. And some people would say, well, why would you rate that higher than Walden? I just think, again, it's the experience. The first time we went to ride it, it was pretty quiet, and it pretty straight on it. And yeah, I can film on the ride as well. So obviously I've got the POV, official POV of it, and I just like it. I just think because it reminds me so much of White Lightning in Florida, that I would enjoy it more. And with it being a fully wooden coaster, I just think it's fantastic. That smell as well, like I said, the theming of it's brilliant. I just think it's really good. So yeah, Heidi the ride is number 7 at Plopsaland de Pan. Right, number 6 on the list is another controversial one actually, and a lot of people would say it was probably the roughest coaster on this list. But I really enjoyed it, and the time we was at this park, which is Port Ventura, I loved it. I just kept going round and around and around. It's Stampeder at Port Ventura. It's a 1997 Custom Coasters International wooden coaster. It's a twin racing as well. It's got trains made by Comeback, so they're not the best trains, but you get that open feeling because it's got low down sides to it. Really enjoyed this coaster again. Really well themed. It's in the Wild West section of the park, sort of like right at the back of the park, and I really enjoyed it. I got so many people said it was rough, and well, in fact, it was one of the roughest coasters they'd ever been on. I really enjoyed it. I just think it's got a great layout to it. I think this one was actually designed by John Wardley as well, who, if you're a big fan of Alton Towers, and he designed Nemesis, Oblivion, Galactica or Air, and Stampeder as well. I think this is one of the coasters that he wanted to build at Alton Towers, but never got the chance to do it, so put it in Portaventura instead. But no, it's a really good coaster. You choose a red side or a blue side. You race each other. They both go up the same. It's not a Mobius loops. It's basically two separate tracks, so you can class it as two separate credits as well. I just really enjoy it. I just think it's a decent coaster. It's got loads of air time on it. It's in a nice location, quite tall as well, so you get a good view from the top. I just really enjoyed it and thought it should be on this list anyway because I enjoyed the ride. Good experience on it as well. So yeah, number 6 is Stampeder, located at Portaventura in Spain. So number 5 on the list is another GCI. I think there's actually 2 more on this list. Yeah, 2 more on this list there is. And it's Joris D Drake at Efteling in the Netherlands. Now this is a 2010 GCI. Again, it's also a twin racing coaster, a red side and a blue side. It's pretty much the trend these days with twin racing coasters. Yeah, again, another good coaster. I thought it was one of the sides was a bit rougher than the other. I think it was the red side. I preferred the blue, I think. It's a really good layout to it as well. Really nice location. Theming's not too bad. You've got like this giant dragon near the entrance that spits fire out as well, which is awesome. It's great. I just think it's a really nice coaster. Any really good theme park that puts in a good wooden GCI, they're always going to be great, apart from Gwazi at Busch Gardens. I just loved it. It was fun coaster as well. Obviously, if you've got twin racing coasters, you can interact with the person next to you on the other train. I just think it's a good layout. Loads of airtime on it. It's really fast, relentless, great location. There's not much else to rave about it really, but yeah, it's a really good coaster. Joris D Drake at Efteling in the Netherlands. So number 4 on the list. Now this one had to be on the list. I couldn't put it any higher than what it is. If it was a UK wooden coasters, then it would be number 1. And me saying that, a lot of people would know what this is. It's Megaphobia at Oakwood in Wales. It's a 1996 Custom Coasters International. So again, I've got a couple of favourites of wooden coasters, GCI and CCI. I've always enjoyed this coaster. It's relentless, loads of airtime, great location in the park. When you walk into Oakwood, you can't see it. It's right at the back of the park, and you're walking through the sign. You go down the pathway, and it's just there across the lake. It looks amazing. It's such a stunning coaster. There's a few fans of it as well. Mark and Ryan, two friends of mine. They've been on this thing thousands of times. It's just brilliant. It's such a good coaster, and when we've been with the European Coaster Club as well to their event, we've had an hour ERT in the dark, which is just brilliant. We've done that twice now, and both times I've had about 10-15 rides on it in a row in the dark. This thing's brilliant. The first drop it's got to be one of the best first drops on a coaster, well, a wooden coaster anyway. I think a couple that are a bit higher, slightly better first drops, but no, it's really good. Back row, it throws you out the seat. It's got a lap. I mean, all of these coasters have just got lap bars. but this one's got a seat belt as well, so it's got the PTC trains. So they're a bit tight if you're on the larger side. I do prefer my Millennium Flyers. I think they're the better trains. If this could get Millennium Flyers, it'd be brilliant, or even a bit of a retrap by GCI, it'd be great. So it's, you know, it's got a couple of rough patches on it, but no, I love it. Megaphobia is the best coaster, or the best wooden coaster in the UK, in my opinion. I think it's better than Wickhamon, and I've just realised I haven't even got my glasses on. It's quite funny. But yeah, I love it. I just think it's a fantastic coaster. Anyone that's not been to Oakwood, it's the main reason for going, really, is for Megaphobia. If you haven't been, you've got to go and ride this coaster. I just can't really say any more about it. It's got a couple of trains on it. It was painted silver and gold for their anniversary a few years ago. It's normally black and red trains. It's really fast, loads of airtime on it, great location. Hasn't got the theming, but this one doesn't really need it, really. It's about the location, middle of a forest. It's fantastic. So number 4 on the list is Megaphobia at Oakwood in Wales. So number 3 on the list. Now, I heard nothing but fantastic things about this ride, and it's one that I wanted to really experience for myself. Like I said, it's been bigged up so much. I wouldn't say it was overrated, but a lot of people rate it highly, and it's a lot of number ones for some people. So my number 3 is Boulder at Liseberg in Sweden. Now this is a 2003 Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster. So prefabricated means it's built in a factory like a steel coaster, shipped to the park and then built on site, whereas all the other coasters on the list are just come in big packs of timber and they build it from scratch. So Boulder's, like I said, it's a prefabricated, it's built in the factory and they just sort of slot it together basically, which makes for a really smooth ride. Fantastic. Now I love this thing. The trains on it are quite low down as well, little lap bar on it. What more can I say about it? This thing is an airtime machine. I knew it was got to be good because the people that have been on it have told me that it was good, and this thing is amazing. If you like wooden coasters, if you like airtime, you will love this thing. This coaster just tries to throw you out the seat. One coaster that I haven't been on yet, and has been a bucket list ride for me for a long time, which is another Intamin prefabricated, is I forgot what it's called. Oh, sorry, El Toro at Six Flags in New York or New Jersey. That's one that I've wanted to get on for a long time now. There is another one in my notable mentions that I got on and just didn't think it was as good as Boulder. Boulder is incredible, really good airtime, just what you need, really fantastic. So number 3 on the list is Boulder at Liseberg in Sweden. So number 2 on the list, we're getting there. Now this one, again, it's another one that I'd heard so much about. I missed it out on a trip when we went a few years ago because it was having a retrack, and I've managed to get on this pretty recently. Actually, it was earlier this year. If you watch the California vlogs, then you'll know what this will be. It's another GCI, well it is now. It's Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm in California. Now this thing is a thing of beauty. This is amazing coaster. It was built by Custom Coasters International in 1998, and then it was retracked in between 2015 and 2016 by GCI, and it's amazing. It's now got the Millennium Flyer trains on it, and I watched POVs of it before and knew it was a long ride, and it's sort of like an out and back, but it comes back on itself 2 or 3 times. It's got some fantastic airtime, this thing, but no, I loved it. The overall experience of it wasn't amazing, but as you actually go to the park, you drive underneath it, and then when you park up and walk back to the main entrance of the park, you walk underneath it as well. So it sort of starts in the main park itself and then goes over the car park and comes back on itself. We waited about an hour, I think, for the first ride, and about 30 to 40 minutes for the second ride, which was at night as well. The second ride was at night time, which was awesome. But no, I love this thing. We were sat near the back the first time, and the airtime is incredible, really smooth because of the retrack. I love the Millennium Flyer trains on it. The theming's not really there. It hasn't really got any theming. It's in the Wild West area of the park, so it's got a nice sort of Ghost Rider sort of entrance that you got to walk through like this little cave, and then you walk around the side of it. You can see the coaster. Nice big station for it, all indoors. Start from the bottom, walk up some stairs, and the coaster's at the top. It's fantastic. Haven't got a POV of this one that I filmed myself, but I'll try and obviously stick one in that I've borrowed from YouTube, obviously crediting the uploader. But yeah, Ghost Rider is amazing. Fantastic coaster, really long. It's nearly, well, it's 4,533 feet of track, so quite long. Yeah, fantastic. So number 2 on the list is Ghost Rider, located at Knott's Berry Farm in California. So number 1 on the list, a lot of you will probably know what this is anyway, because it's in my top 10 coasters or top 10 overall coasters. It's Troy at Toverland in the Netherlands. Now again, this thing is amazing. It's got a mixture of pretty much everything that's on this list. It's got the height, it's got the speed, it's got the airtime. In fact, it's probably got the best airtime other than Boulder on this list. And yeah, the experience of it, every time I've been to Toverland, it's been pretty much walk on, so I haven't waited an hour for it, or even 3 hours for it. The theming's great. It's got its own little area. It's got like the big wooden horse, the entrance. It's got all the nice landscaping and all the like, little ponds and big shop, and oh, it's brilliant. I just think this thing's amazing. Again, it's built by GCI. It was built in 2007. I think that's what it says in the app. That's what I've written down. It's just incredible. It's just a massive, huge piece of wood, and I love it. Troy is fantastic. Again, it's one of them that you've got to put on. In fact, you've got to put all of these on your bucket list if you like wooden coasters. I just think it's great. The airtime's brilliant. The speed of it, it's smooth-ish. It's got a good length of it. You've got the fly through as well, fly by in the station. The staff are brilliant that operate it. When we went a couple of years ago during the winter season, we actually stayed on the train without getting off, and we had 10 goes in a row. It was amazing. Even at the end of the day, people are cheering like one more time, and we got to go around again, and we were the last people off that ride and out of the park. I mean, brilliant. It's lit up really well. Theme tune, I think it's got a new theme tune by Imascore as well. It had some really weird pop music before, so glad that they changed that. Really good merch for it. Good, it's brilliant. There's not one thing I wouldn't change about this. Probably a couple more tunnels on it or something like that. But no. So yeah, that's it. That's my top 10 wooden coasters. So number 1 on the list was Troy, located at Toverland in the Netherlands. Right, so that was the list. Yeah, good mixture of coasters really. I haven't been on more than what's on this list. Before I go into the notable mentions, like I said, there's 4 of them, so I'll go through them pretty quick because the video's dragging on a little bit now. Like I said, there's 4 notable mentions. I just want to say a couple more things about some coasters that are not on this list because they don't exist anymore. But one of the main reasons for me becoming a coaster enthusiast is a coaster that was located at Frontierland in Morecambe. Now this was a park that was owned and operated by the Thompson family that own the Pleasure Beach in Blackpool. And I loved this park. It was great. So one of the, well, in fact, a couple of the main reasons why I enjoyed my home park so much, if I didn't mention it, Frontierland was located in Morecambe in Lancashire. It's been gone for well over 20 years now. 1999, I think it closed. But the coaster was called Texas Tornado. Massive wooden coaster. In fact, it was probably the first big sort of size coaster that I've ever ridden. And then after that, it was coasters over in Florida. I think the second biggest coaster I've ever ridden was Coomba. So yeah, you've got Texas Tornado and out and back Woody. It was I think it was actually at one of the Paris exhibitions in the 1920s or something like that. Again, I should have wrote down some more information on it on my list. But the other one that I really enjoyed as well was Cyclone, that was located at the Pleasure Beach at Southport. That got knocked down as well when they closed the park, unfortunately. And a couple of other ones that I should even mention as well were the Wild Mouses. There was one at Frontierland, and obviously the one at Blackpool as well. There isn't any other Blackpool Woodies on this list, sadly. If I'd made like a top 20, then I think that the Nickelodeon Streak and Blue Flyer probably would have made this list as well. But they're just you know, they can't compare to these modern coasters on this list that I've got. I just think, yeah, I don't think there was any room for them. So yeah, a couple of little mentions there for some past coasters. Right, so the notable mentions I've got here is the first one is Tonnes de Zeus, which is located at Parc Asterix in France. Again, this is another coaster I thought should have been on the list, but it didn't quite make it. I'd heard so much about this. Again, a lot of people talked about it and raved about it as the best wooden coaster in Europe. For me, it just wasn't doing it for me. It's a good layout, I suppose. The theming's not too bad for it. Built by Custom Coasters International in 1997, so a year after Megaphobia. And a lot of people would say that this is Megaphobia's bigger brother or bigger sister. It is. It's the same sort of thing. It's got the same sort of feel to it. It's slightly longer, but I thought this was rough. I didn't really enjoy it at all. The first ride we had on it, we had fast passes, so we didn't have to queue, so that was the main thing. We were sat at the back the first time, and the second time we went round and got in the front row. It's not too bad. It's not amazing. It could do with some retracking in the future. But yeah, so I thought that was a worthy notable mention. Another one that's on this list is a Giant Dipper, located at Belmont Park in California. Again, a very classic coaster, built in 1925. It's got Morgan trains on it now as well. This thing is crazy. It's bonkers. The first time I went on it a few years ago, I just sat on it for, I don't know, 7 rides in a row or something silly like that, and then sat on it while the sun was going down over the Pacific Ocean. Just classic, brilliant classic wooden coaster. What more do you want? The station's gorgeous to it. It's got great history. When it sets off, you've got like this little dark ride section as well. Sounds mental when it's going up the lift hill, as you can probably well, there isn't no POV because this is not on the list, unfortunately. But yeah, you can see all the pictures as well. I'll post a couple of pictures from it. It's just a brilliant, really nice colour to it. Yeah, it's slightly just missed out on this one. So yeah, Giant Dipper, unfortunately. Another notable mention is a Scenic Railway at Dreamland in Margate. Now this is a 1920 coaster. That's the oldest one on the list. It's the oldest wooden coaster in the UK. It's one of the oldest in the world, in fact. It's still got the brakeman on it, and it was rebuilt in 2015. Unfortunately, it suffered a massive fire, and a lot of it was damaged when the park went into decline and closed, and people obviously got into the park and set fire to it. So a lot of it was damaged. It was rebuilt by the grants. I think it was a lottery grant or the government grant. And it's amazing now. It's such a beautiful coaster. It's nothing amazing. It's not the tallest, the fastest, or the most thrilling, or even has amazing airtime. But it's such a classic that it had to be on the list, and I really enjoy it. I just think it suits the park really well. And again, if you haven't been to Dreamland, please go and check it out, because it was on the news a while ago that they're having problems as well due to this virus. So, you know, if it doesn't close, please go and support the park. And the final one on the list, final notable mention as well. Now, again, this was another coaster that I wanted to get on so much, and then it ended up closing because it had wood rot, and they rebuilt it. This one's Colossus with an O at the end. It's a 2001 Intamin prefabricated woody, which is what I said at the during the list. It's the same as Boulder, but this thing is massive. I think it's the tallest wooden coaster in Europe. In fact, I think it is. And it's 164 foot tall. SB&O from 2016 to 2019. Track rebuild, and it's got a new soundtrack by Armiscore. It's got a brand new theme to it. It's got like this wooden structure, or this structure anyway. We only went on it a couple of times, so I can't really remember it that much. So it's got this structure that you go through, and it's mad because the track goes up, and you think you're going up, but you don't. You go down and through this mouth. Again, why is it not in the top 10? I just didn't think it was that amazing, really. It was smooth, but it just didn't really do much for me, unfortunately. I thought it would have done, so that's why I'm hoping that El Toro at Six Flags is going to live up to the hype. But that's it. Yeah, that's the list. I hope you've enjoyed this one. The next top 10 I'll be doing probably for a while now, because like I said, I'm back to work now, so I can only get to do these during the lockdown, or while we can't get out and to the parks. I hope you've enjoyed the list. Like I said, it was quite hard. I had to write some notes down because I forget. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for next time I upload another video, and I shall see you again. Bye for now.